one of the assistants that was working in the studio, that was employed by the studio, who's not a Christian, he came to me at the end of the day and he said, Chris, I just want to tell you, this is the single greatest day I've ever had in my life in the studio. I don't know what it is about these kids. It was the single greatest day. I don't even know what this is. And I remember when these kids got together, and they haven't been in the studio a lot. They're about 6 years old to 12 years old, all AIDS orphans from Uganda. And they're about 6 years old to 12 years old, and they said, and so I was trying to make them feel comfortable, and my producer was trying to make them feel comfortable. It was like, hey, why don't you guys just get in here? Why don't you kind of come in here and just start singing something? Sing whatever, sing one of your favorite songs. Sing just something to warm up. And they started singing, How Great Is Our God.
Oh, man.
I lost weight. I was crying so much. I was like, Lord, how do you let a song that I wrote in my room so many years ago make it to an AIDS orphanage in Uganda, where these kids, it's the song that they know. It's a song that just comes out of their heart when they sing. And let me tell you, it's one thing when I sing it. It's a whole other thing when a kid who has never known their parents, who has nothing, when they stand there and sing, How Great Is Our God. It's unbelievable. You can't name it. If you have the CD, when you hear the song Love, right off the bat, you'll hear these kids. O Kwagalakwe Kusinyabuna, which means His love is the answer. And it was it was the greatest day I've ever had in the studio. And I'm finishing up, we're finishing up the day, and I get a call from my friend Louis, who'd been at a conference. And he was just calling to check in on things. He said, Chris, how'd the day go in the studio? He had no idea anything. I was like, how'd the day go in the studio? It's like an interesting question. Well, for one, we just had the Watoto Children's Choir from Uganda in the studio today. And he was like, no way. And I was like, yeah. He goes, no. No. I just landed from a conference, and the speakers for the conference were Gary and Marilyn Skinner, who started the Watoto village in Uganda. This is overseas. It was overseas, and I felt the whole time they were speaking that God was saying, that little 1 million can idea, you're going to help build some villages for these kids in Gulu, in Uganda. And he goes, and I land, and so I'm feeling that the whole time on the plane, and I land, the first person I call is you, and they're in the studio. The kids are in the studio in Nashville singing on your record. I'm like, if you don't know that God exists, He is sovereign, and He puts things together in ways that you never could ever imagine. Because He draws close to the brokenhearted. He draws near to the brokenhearted, and He's going to make their cause known in the world. And He's like, Chris, you think you got a Coca-Cola commercial here? Buddy, I got something that the whole world's going to sing. And people are going to know. And so tonight, I want to ask you to join us. Watoto is building villages in Gulu, in northern Uganda, for former child soldiers. Many of you know about these child soldiers that have been kidnapped from their homes. There's kids in this room that are their age, and they've been kidnapped, and all they've known is to kill. They've been brainwashed, and most of them have killed their own parents for initiation.